Today I'm going to do another 3D printing tutorial from concept all the way to 3D printing. And what I have in mind today is these little PopSocket that everybody seems to have, pretty universal for every phone. I wanted to create a mount for the PopSocket itself that will mount to a tripod. Now the PopSocket itself has like 3 different modes, right? There's completely flat, well, I guess 4 modes. Completely flat, popped out, and you notice this is kind of fat here, and then I'll extend it all the way, which is very skinny on the top. And then it has one other mode where it's the opposite of the first mode we showed, where it's skinnier on the bottom. This is the mode I think I'm going to take advantage of for creating the mount. So the mount's going to go into this, and then when we pop it into place, it'll be held securely in this mode. So let's get into Fusion 360 and get started. Oh, I also took a picture of this beforehand, like this, so I can trace out some of the curves that are on the socket itself. So now let's go into Fusion 360. Okay, so here we are in Fusion. First thing I'm going to do is save the file. And we're going to go ahead and create a new component. And we're going to rename it just by clicking on it and clicking it again slowly. All right, and this, by the way, means that it's on. If you have multiple components, you can make edits to multiple components, but you have to make sure you're on the appropriate component. We're not going to get more than one today, but just to let you know. All right, first thing we need to do is then set up a canvas. So we're going to attach canvas. And this is that picture I took of the PopSocket. I'm going to create on this face, the front face. Click OK. We'll go take a look at it. And first thing I'm going to do is going to fix the orientation. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's just see. 5 is too much. Let's try 2. Nope. Oops. Let's try 1. That looks good. All right, and then we're going to calibrate the image so it's the same size as in real life. So I'm going to get my calipers and measure the very top portion from here to here. And I got 39. 39.7. What I'll do is right click on it, calibrate, we'll zoom in from here to here is 39.7. All right, and that basically made that 39.7 in this image. So the next thing we're going to do is, now that I have things, it doesn't look perfectly centered, so I'm going to move it again. So I'm going to add a canvas. I'm going to move this out of the way. I think that looks good right there. Okay. So next is I'm going to start drawing a line. I'm going to start right over here on this view. It's asking me what view I needed to put it on, so I went ahead and clicked on that. Then I'm going to start here, here, And then to around here. I'm going to stop there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the spline tool to help me with this curve. So from here to here. And what I could do is I can, with these little, oops, scroll in a little bit. Control Z, what I just did there. Okay. What I can do is I can hold these handles in, and I can better trace the curve there. This doesn't have to be precise. Okay. This actually kind of goes in like, oops, Control Z. Actually kind of goes in like this. All right, that looks good. And I can switch back to line. All right. Then we just go 1 millimeter. Then I'm going to connect back to this one. You saw how, actually, let me do that again so you guys can see. You see how when I clicked on that to start the line, but you see if I float over this, then it gives me basically like a snap to that point. And that's what I did there. And then I want to go ahead and click on that. All right. That looks good. So the next thing, so that's going to be what's going to hold it up. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to stop this sketch, go to the top, and I need to see what the diameter of this portion is down here. I just want to see what it is. I don't think it matters too much, but I think any circle will do. But I'm going to basically sketch out that, create a new sketch on this plane. I'm going to create a circle, and it's going to be a center point. And let me measure this. Looks like it's 14.6. Okay. So I don't think that really mattered too much. I think I could have gotten away with any circle. Basically, that's this space down here in real life. So let's go ahead from next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep this profile by that circle. So we're going to go to Create, Sweep. We're going to select that. We're going to select this as the path. And then click OK. As you can see, that will basically hold the PopSocket. Now we have to make an entryway on how the PopSocket can go in. So when I go to the top, what I think I'm going to do is let's create another sketch. We'll use this as the, we'll do 60 degrees. And then what I like to do is sketch from this point right here straight up at 90 degrees. There we go. And what I like to do is trim by hitting the T button. This right here. And then what we can do is mirror the sketch. So we're going to mirror. Well, before I mirror, I need something to mirror from. So I'm going to create another line. This is going to be a construction line here. So let's go ahead and once again, let's do the mirror. I'm going to mirror this line against this line. That gives me a perfect mirror image of that. And then we're going to create one more line, mirror to here, and then one from here to here. Did I create this line? Oh, yeah, okay. So we're going to take these pieces right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a different view. See how it's kind of in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and extrude. It's going to basically, the operation here is basically what the extrude is going to do. It's going to cut. So I'm using this to cut the mount. But instead of one side, I want to go to symmetric so it goes both ways. Boom. All right, so now the pop socket should basically fit into that while it's popped up. And then when I push down on it, it should fit inside this cavity pretty snug. All right. So let's create the base for it. I think I can disable the canvas now. I can turn off the canvas by these little light bulbs here. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another sketch. Create another sketch. This time we're going to use the circle here. And let's just draw, I think, let me look. Let's make the mount 30 millimeters that way. Now let's sketch a line about, no, let's just say 10 millimeters. And then what we could do is, boom. Then another line all the way down to here. And then here. And we can do the same thing. Once again, is mirror. This line, and this line. And use this as a reference line. Click OK. Since this line's a construction line, I will go ahead and make it a construction line. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to extrude these faces. I probably should have deleted this line afterwards, so let's just delete that line. So there we go. Makes it easier on us. So now let's extrude. What we can do is extrude all the way down. If you click on one of the faces down here, it'll basically extrude it to that point. All right, so here we go. All right, so I believe my mount is a 1/2 inch. It's a 1/2 inch thread. So what I'm going to do is, I don't think this is going to be big enough for a 1/2 inch thread. Let's go to Google real quick. 1/2 inches to millimeter. Cool, there we had it. 12.7. So let's take a look. Clicking on inspect and clicking on something will tell me how big that is. And this is 13.13. I don't think that's going to work very well. So let's go ahead and just make a box. Oops, on this face right here. Let's just go 20 by 20. That looks good. Okay. And let's extrude just this portion out. Let's just say 10. Well, let's do 20. Well, 13's fine. I guess that should be fine. All right. So what was that calculation again? 12.7. So we're going to create a hole I'm going to create a circle. Oops, center circle on this. What I'm going to do is find the center there, find the center there, boom. 12.7. Okay. Now, let me check the mount. I believe it's like 6 millimeters. Yep. So we're going to extrude. Let's just go 8. See, it's on. It's fine. 7, 8. Okay. So I just extruded that in. We're going to put some threads here. So what we can do is create threads. And I think these are ANSI. 1/2 threads. You want to click on model. That'll model the threads onto it. And click OK. All right. So here we go. So here's the part. It's finished. So now we're ready to 3D print. So let's go ahead and save. Always save. And what we need to do next is File, 3D Print. And yeah, high's fine. I unchecked the Send to 3D Utility. I used the Prusa software, the slicer program. And this doesn't really work really well going directly to it. So I'm going to go ahead and click Depart. And then click OK. It's going to ask me, hey, what do you want to save it to? So I'm going to save it to my desktop. And we'll call it socket mount. Okay. So let's go to Prusa real quick. All right. Since see, I have it set to PETG, which is fine. I have PETG on the printer, so I don't really feel like changing it out. Drag it over. Let's go ahead and take a slice of that, see how it prints out. Now, if this was oriented any other way, I would want it to print this way. But if it was standing up, I would move it to this position. Although printing this upwards would probably work as well. I don't see any really major overhangs, but this probably would print best like this. All right, so we slice it, so we got to go to the preview, see what we have here. Everything looks okay, except I have a skirt. I don't think I need a skirt. So I'm going to take off the skirt, and I think I can use a little less infill. Infill, going to be, let's go to 10%. Layers, I'm going to go 4 for 4. And then skirts, we're going to 0 that out. Let's go back and slice again. All right, looks better. The reason I want to use a skirt on this one, it has plenty of surface area for it to stick on the bed. So that looks good. So next we just got to export this. And it's going to make a G-code file, which we're going to copy that file onto an SD card and then go to the printer. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, since I'm going to be printing with PETG, I'm going to go ahead and clean the surface off. And I'm going to use some glue stick to help it stick. Actually, it doesn't help it stick. It actually works more of a release agent at the end. I think that's good enough. Because if you don't use glue stick, PETG sticks to this type of bed way too well. Okay, so I've copied my G-code to the SD card, so we got to go find it. We're going to go print from SD, and there it is, first one. Click select, and it's just ready to roll. So now we just wait till it finishes printing. Okay, we're back. Here's the part as it came from the printer. It looked like I had a blocked nozzle or something going on with it because I noticed some of that black stuff in there, probably from another filament. Looks like it may have cleared itself out. So, but I made a mistake. Like I always do, every first design flaws. You'll have to find it. First of all, it's not 1/2 inch that I needed to do, it was 1/4 inch. So that hole was way too big for the threads on the tripod. But we can test to make sure everything else works. So here we are. Let's make sure the pop socket's all the way out. And it looks like it worked with one exception. So I like it. It retains it really good, but obviously it rotates. So it looks like I'm going to have to, at least for this phone case, I'm going to have to create a little part there or something to prevent it from rotating somehow. But other than that, pretty much a success as far as what I wanted to get with the mounting portion of it. So now I just got to figure out what to do about rotating it. So why don't we go back into Fusion and fix that, and then try to figure something out about this. Obviously not a very good cam holder if it's gonna be like that. One thing I was thinking about was on my particular tripod, it's actually a pretty wide base. I was just thinking of making the base, moving this all the way up till it's flush, the bottom part's flush with the phone. That way when it sits on the thing, the tripod, it'll automatically just set like straight because of the tripod base. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make this flush with the phone, and then obviously change the hole. All right, so let's do that. Okay, we're back in Fusion. So let's go ahead and fix those two issues we had. So first things first, I'm just going to delete on the bottom here. This is where you can go back in time, by the way. So I'm going to delete the last two things I did because I don't think I need to go that high. So let's just delete that, and let's delete this. Let's delete this. So we're back to this. All right, very good. So for looking at my phone and measuring out how much was hanging off, it just needed to basically go back 10 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude. I'm going to go back basically 10. All right. There we go. Now that we have that like that, let's find out what the amount I need is actually 1/4, not 1/2. That was my fault. So 6.35 is what we need as a whole. Okay, so we can go ahead and sketch, circle, center point. I think 6.35 will fit here fine. So we'll get it on that surface here. I'm going to find the center point there and the center point there. Boom. 6.35. All right. Then we're going to extrude. Oops. Anytime I extrude, I like to be in a perspective view because we're doing it in this view. It's just sometimes hard to see which way you're going. So let's do it 8 again. All right. And back again. Let's create some threads. Where are the threads? Oh, there they are. Here. Sure they're modeled. And I know it's this style for the UST style for the mounts here in the US anyways. So make sure you molded them and click OK. So there, we have our two fixes. So hopefully this will work. So let's go ahead and save this again. And then let's go ahead and print this out. So 3D print the part, override this one, and save. All right, so I'm not going to go over the 3D printing portion again. It's basically the same thing, except we're going to print this one out. Okay, here we are, finished with the print. I decided to change out the filament for this gray because I didn't want an orange one. So everything turned out perfect, very sturdy. As you can see, what I meant by it basically self-leveling on the mount itself, and it's screwed in basically there on a 1/4. I did find a 1/2-inch bolt just to show you guys that yes, the threads do work. They actually work very, very well. I mean, you can't, a lot of people worry about plastic threads and metal screws or stuff like that, but to be honest with you, as long as you don't over tighten, you're not going to break it. So I'll go ahead and put this model up on Thingiverse. If you would like to support the channel, there is a donate button there when you download the model itself. If you don't have a printer, I'll put it up on Shapeways, see how much it'll cost there. I'm not quite sure yet, but probably be like 10 bucks, unfortunately. Shapeways is kind of expensive. But yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and please support the channel. You guys have a great day. Bye.